Alright, so before I was so rudely interrupted by my screencaster, what I was going to tell you is that there are some additional checklists that I asked the user to provide information for, like the condition of the HVAC. This is more of a perception or judgment call. Things like well and septic, if it's present or not present, just a little trigger, things to keep track of. We want people to pay attention to these big ticket items because if they don't, they could miss something very expensive. Cedar overlay is a big one, so we'll ask for that. The electrical wiring, if they can determine what kind it is, it's good to know if it's copper, aluminum, knob tube, been taken out of the house. So there's all these different questions that we ask for. Is it a defective service panel? What's the foundation condition? Does it appear to be good, fair, poor? And I'll show you what happens with some of these triggers. Then there are other things that are not really related to the house so much as just environmental issues, like is there pervasive mold, is there an asbestos issue, is there evidence of a meth lab, say present, oil tank. This is more for areas in the northeast region, but still something that especially in the REO industry we keep an eye out for. So these go on and on. I don't want to go through all of them, but I did want to show one more feature on the estimating tool, and then I want to show what the report looks like that this generates. So right now you can see our costs are at $21,000 for the full scope, and then $9,875 for the light scope. Now if I change this to a standard level house, which is a step up from a standard, if I change it to a designer level house, which is a step up from a standard, hope I said that right, you can see the costs go up. Some of the costs go up a lot, some of them don't change at all. Things like demolition or haul off don't change based on the level of finish out of the house. They're demolition and haul off, but other things do. You get a nicer paint job with a designer house, you get nicer plumbing and electrical fixtures. So all this intelligence is built into this tool. If I change the flooring type, you would see if I wanted to put new hardwoods in through this house, the new hardwood line now goes to, it reflects the cost of having hardwood installed. If I said that the secondary hard surface, secondary flooring is vinyl, you can see that the vinyl flooring price would changes, and so all the numbers change with it, and the description changes, and on and on and on. And I can continue to manipulate this as much as I want within the context of what I've given you control over in the tool. If I say you've got a low pitch roof, it will actually reduce the roof price. If I say steep pitch, it raises the roof price, those kinds of things. So finally, once you enter all this information in, you check off all the things that you want, and I'll add a couple more things in there just to give us some more data to look at. Once I do this, and I do allow for some custom things, if something's not on this report and somebody wants to add it, they can. I can take this information and go to my report, and now you see a breakout of where the costs are. You see the full scope costs, the light scope costs. You see, well, this is the full scope, this is the light scope. Then you see the dollar per square foot, and you see a risk assessment. So based on the intensity of the project, the amount of mechanical and structural work, and the dollar per square foot, those things are all assessed and given a grade. And you can see the breakout of the repairs. You can see cosmetic versus structural versus major systems versus miscellaneous whatever. And then you see in a diagram over here, which needs a little bit of tweaking, you can see where your cost goes visually in the graph. You can also see those things that we said were not in great shape are called out with these little red triggers, just drawing your attention to, hey, this is potentially a problem. Have we thought about this? Have we accounted for this? And this is essentially, this is how this works. Everything is very dynamic. If I change this to a 4-bedroom house, let's do a couple more quick tweaks before my 5 minutes runs out. The bedroom count doesn't affect much of the behavior, but if I change from a 2-bath to a 3-bath house, you can see that some of the numbers change, and that has to do with now, because you've told me you got a 3-bath house, I know more about the types of fixtures and things that are in that house, as opposed to a 2.5-bath house, which I know doesn't have the additional shower stall or bathtub surround. So there's a lot going on in the back end. I don't have time to get into all of it, but this is how it works. It's very sophisticated. It's actually very simple, but the math behind it is very very sophisticated. Best way to put it. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I look forward to talking to some of you more, and looking for some capital to get this thing built. Thanks for watching.